Welcome everyone, it's Nicole from Healthy NYC. Today we're going to be practicing an intermediate vinyasa flow to really work on flexibility in our hips. So let's start by lying down on our backs. So lie down in a comfortable position. We're gonna just take Savasana for a few moments here, just settling into our practice. Take a few deep belly breaths, breathing in and out through the nose. Relaxing your upper back. Making sure there's no tension in your face, your jaw, shoulders, arms, legs. Go ahead and take one last deep breath here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's pull our right leg in. You can go ahead and hold on to the shin or the back of the leg. If this is in any way uncomfortable for your back, feel free to bend your left leg. And just circle out the ankles. Move your hip back side to side, just getting some mobility going. Lengthening out that left leg if you have it straight. Getting a nice stretch in the hip flexor. And we're going to move into a twist. So place your right arm out to the side. Gently move your right hip over the left, shoulders facing up. You can keep your knee bent as I have it here, or if you're feeling like you have some flexibility in your hamstrings, you can feel free to straighten that right leg out. And if you need to, keep a bend in your knee if your leg is straight. Collarbones facing up to the sky. Just take a few deep breaths here into the lower back. And let's come back to center. Switching sides. So pulling your left leg in and circling through that ankle. Maybe moving the hip back. Feel free to bend your right leg if this is uncomfortable for your back or your hamstrings. Just take a few breaths here, relaxing into the pose, shoulders down. And we're going to move into a twist. So left arm out, take that right hip, your left hip over your right leg, and again, you may leave it bent or you can feel free to straighten that leg out. Just try to make sure that your shoulders are down on the mat, collarbones facing up to the sky. Take a few breaths here. Feeling into our hamstrings and our hips. One last full round of breath here. And let's move back to the center. Pull both knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Maybe rock a bit side to side. Just massaging the lower back. And when you're ready, let's come up to tabletop pose. We're gonna do some rounds of cat and cow. Just to really start getting into the upper back and the lower back. So you'll want your knees underneath your hips, your wrists underneath your shoulders, spreading the fingertips nice and wide, really pressing into those fingertips. Inhale. Lifting up, opening the heart. And exhale, nice contraction here. Really getting a feel for this in your upper back. Do a few rounds on your own with your own breath. Making sure that your fingers are spread wide. Pressing into the knuckles, taking the pressure out of your wrists. Let's take 2 more full rounds here. And last round. And come back to neutral. Before we go any further, we're going to take puppy pose. So keep your knees as they are under your hips and just stretch your arms out forward. You can either keep them straight or just passively bending your elbows. Try not to crease too much in the lower back here. Just really feeling that stretch in the upper back. A few more breaths. Last full round. And start to walk your hands back. We're going to move into our first downward dog. So tuck your toes and stretch on out. Feet should be about hip width distance. Keep your fingers spread nice and wide. Go ahead and paddle out the feet. You can keep a bend in the knees if your hamstrings are tight. Try and curl that tailbone up to the sky. Relax your neck and head. Really feeling the stretch through the upper back and the shoulders. And let's walk our hands to the back of the mat. You can widen your feet a little bit wider than hip distance. And we're going to take a forward fold. So you can bend your knees here, hold on to opposite elbows, swaying side to side, relaxing the neck and the head. Bend your knees as much as you need to here. Taking a few more breaths. And hands back down to the mat. Let's walk back out into our downward dog. Readjust your feet back to hip level. And take an inhale. Reach that right leg up to the sky. Go ahead and bend the knee if that's comfortable for you. Trying to press that right shoulder down so nothing is changing in the upper body. Straighten out your leg and carefully bring that forward. We're moving into our low lunge. So you want to keep your knee aligned with your ankle and reach on up. Try not to crease too much in the back here. Looking wherever you can hold your balance and whatever's comfortable. Take a few breaths here. And exhale the arms down, moving into our half split. Go ahead and straighten that right leg out. You can keep a bend in your knee here. If your hamstrings are tight, try and take this out of the upper body And really try and scoop that left hip forward. Toes are turned up to the sky with your foot flexed. Go ahead and start to look up, reaching forward. We're going to move it into our low lunge with a twist. Left hand down and your right arm up. Left toes curled under. Try not to pop that left shoulder forward. One more inhale and exhale, right hand down. We're going to move into a flow. You can take chaturanga here. You can come down to your knees if you'd like. Go ahead and come all the way down to the ground. Inhaling up to mini cobra. Exhale back down and press back into our downward dog. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Paddling out the feet. Spreading those fingers nice and wide. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. Go ahead and bend that knee. Try and opening up that left hip. Straighten that left leg and slowly, carefully bring it forward into our low lunge. And lift on up. Feeling that nice stretch in your right hip flexor. Taking a few breaths here in the pose. Trying not to crease too much in your lower back. Inhale, exhale, the arms down, moving into our half split. So straighten that left leg out. Again, feel free to keep a bend in the knee. I'm rounding here through my upper back, just making this passive. Toes pointing out to the sky and your foot is flexed. Take a few more breaths here. And let's crawl the fingers forward, moving into our low lunge with a twist. Right hand down, left arm up to the sky. One more inhale, exhale. Left hand comes down and let's flow through chaturanga. Up dog. And downward facing dog. You can still feel free to paddle out the feet, whatever movement feels good. Tailbone reaching up to the sky. Inhale that right leg up. And exhale, bringing it forward into warrior two. So back foot spins at about a 45-degree angle. Arms out to the sides, really bending that right knee, trying to keep the hip turned out so it's not collapsing in. Weight is spread evenly between both feet. You're looking over the middle fingers on your right hand. Inhale, let's go ahead and reverse. Nice stretch back, try and keep the bend in the right knee. And exhale back to warrior two. Go ahead and straighten that right leg. Maybe adjust your back foot in a little bit and moving into triangle pose. You can keep your hand on your shin here. If the reach is available, you can place your hand on the floor, but really try to keep your left shoulder back so we don't want to be collapsing towards the floor. Take one more breath here. Exhale, go ahead and bring your hand down. Start to bend into that right knee. We're back in our low lunge. We're going to take a quad stretch here. So inhale, the right arm up and go ahead and grab onto that left foot. If the reach is too far, you can use a strap here. nice twist. Carefully let that knee, that foot down, don't let it slingshot. And we're gonna move into a forward fold. So face the left side of your mat, toes turned in, heels out, and fold forward. Feel free to adjust your stance depending on your hamstring flexibility. You can shake out your head. Take a few moments here. Inhale, halfway lift, and let's go ahead and take our flow. So step back to your plank pose. Inhale, chaturanga, back bend, and exhale back to downward dog. Let's take a cleansing breath here, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, let's step back forward. Right foot at a 45-degree angle. We're coming up into warrior two and bending that front knee. Trying to make sure it's not collapsing in. Strong arms. Neutral torso. Inhale, exhale. Try and keep the bend in your knee here. And exhale back to warrior two. Let's straighten that left leg. Maybe move your right back in a bit. And move your hips forward into our triangle pose. Again, try not to collapse. Your shoulder in, really hug the floating ribs in. Pressing evenly into both feet. Take one more breath here and exhale. Bend that front knee, bring your back knee down, and we're going to move into our low lunge with a twist. So inhale and go ahead and grab onto that right foot. Again, feel free to use the strap here if this pose isn't available. Take one more deep breath. Let that foot go carefully. And let's move into our wide leg. Forward fold on the other side. Toes in, heels out, and relax into the stretch. The further you walk your hands back, the deeper the stretch will be. Take one more round of breath and start to walk your fingertips forward, coming up to a flat back. We're going to move towards the front of the mat and take our flow. Both hands down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Two breaths here. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. And we're moving back into our warrior two. So step that foot forward, left foot at a 45-degree angle, and come back up. Keeping a nice bend in the front knee. Torso is neutral. And straighten the front leg. We're just gonna exalt our triangle. Nice big side body stretch. And exhale, we're gonna come into our side angle. So you can either place your right arm on your thigh. You can go down to the ground if that's available to you. And your arm could be up or over. Take a few breaths here. If looking up isn't comfortable for your neck, you can just look forward. Back into a warrior two. And cartwheel the arms down to take our flow. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Back bend and downward facing dog. Stretch it out. When you're ready, left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it forward. We're going back into our warrior two. Nice strong arms, neutral torso. Inhale, straighten up front leg. Let's exalt. And exhale back to side angle. So again, you can place your arm on your thigh, or if it's available, you can reach down to the floor. Trying to really pull that right shoulder back. We don't want to be collapsing. Take a few more breaths here. Inhaling back up into warrior two. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down. And let's move through our flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale into downward dog. Take a few breaths here. And let's bring our knees down to the mat. And you can go ahead and sit back. We're going to take a twist. So legs out in front of you straight, and you're going to pull your right leg in, cross it over the left. You can go ahead and hold on to that knee. Inhaling, right arm up and back. And just go ahead and gently hug that knee in. Try and keep a straight back here. Hips facing forward. And coming back to center, let's switch sides. So left leg over. Just inhale. That left arm back. And just go ahead and hug that knee in. Take a few more breaths here. Coming back to center, and let's lie down on our backs. Moving into reclined pigeon pose. So cross that right ankle over the top of your left knee, and if it's available to you, you can go ahead and pull that left leg in. Flexing your right foot. Getting a nice deep stretch in that right hip. Take another breath here. And exhale into Shoelace Pose. So trying to cross your right leg over the left, getting your knees to be even with each other, and holding on to the ankles. And let's switch sides. So lying pigeon, crossing the left ankle over the right. leg, foot flexed, and if you can go ahead and pull that right leg in. Just getting a bit of a deeper stretch in the left hip. Relax your shoulders, your upper back. Take one more full breath here. And moving into shoelace. Crossing your left leg over the right. Knees should be about even, and just gently pulling those ankles towards you. One last pose before we move into Savasana. And go ahead and take Happy Baby. So grab onto the outer edges of both feet. Trying to keep your back pressing down on the floor. And you can gently move your hips out further with your arms. Just really relaxing into this stretch. Gently let that go and just put your legs up to the sky. Go ahead and roll through your ankles. We're going to move into Savasana, just working our abs a bit. So go ahead and place your hands firmly down on the mat, shoulders down, feet flexed, and slowly move your legs down towards the mat, trying to keep the lower back on the floor. If this is difficult, just go ahead and bend your knees a bit. And moving into Savasana, our final resting pose. Take up some space, palms facing up, shoulders down. Let's take a few moments here to relax. Notice the effects your practice has had on your body. And do a little bit of a body scan here. Just releasing any tension or tightness, so you can have full relaxation. And when you're ready, start to bring some movement back into your body. Wiggling the fingers and the toes, turning your head side to side. Roll over to one side. Pause for a moment for a full round of breath. Keeping the eyes closed. And gently push up to a comfortable seated position. Again, keeping the eyes closed, focusing inward. Hands on your knees or at heart center. Let's take one last breath together. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.